They come under Mario.
Remember, we saw Mario in trouble earlier on. That car is loose. He has made one pit stop. Obviously, he's trying to make this just a 2-stop race, or else he would have been in the pits because he is running very slowly compared to the leaders.
119 miles complete, 80 to go.
In 10 years of IndyCar racing, Al Jr. has had 3 pole positions. He's not that interested in qualifying. But by golly, when it comes to the race, he is dogged when he gets the smell of victory. And we are seeing him now beginning to show the type of form that Roger Penske knew he had, and that's why he employed him.
Overall important maneuver in his career. Trying to show Roger and the rest of the world that he is still extremely competitive, and there is no question at all about that. Nothing's changed here in Phoenix. Plenty of action coming up in this race, and then action this evening. Sports Center at 7 o'clock. Then at 7:20, baseball tonight with Chris Berman. And then at 8 o'clock Eastern, Sunday night baseball. The Florida Marlins and the San Diego Padres at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. So Emerson Fittipaldi, car number 2, runs in front the Marlboro Penske. Now, in the pits, everybody has a feed from the computerized scoring supplied by the official scoring system of IndyCar EDS. And it's because of a system like this that gives them so much information that on a track like this, they can make the tactical decisions that they have to make. This presence of EDS in the computer system has really helped how they stage the race.
Tremendously. Can you imagine if we were in the old days when you took your pencil and your paper and you tried to write your lap charts? You would never do it because of the speeds, the variety, and the number of fast cars nowadays.
You know, there is only one scorer that I ever saw who could really, well, there are 2. Barbara Hellier, who still scores for Penske, and Betty Rutherford, Johnny Rutherford's wife. It was amazing to watch them pencil score an entire field with laps running at 22 seconds. Just awesome.
And even though EDS is now here, I don't think those girls are even in retirement yet, are they?
No, they're still flat out at it, and good. Nigel Mansell, you look backwards. By the way, what you're seeing is Emerson Fittipaldi. That over in the right-hand corner is just a little vent hose that just kind of bounces there. It's not a loose part. In the pits, let's go to Jan Bikas as Nigel Mansell turns down onto pit road. Jan?
That's right, Paul. We're standing by waiting for Nigel Mansell. Tom Wirtz is waving his arms, showing Nigel where to bring the car to a stop. We were right. He was having to save a little bit of fuel so he could make this window. He's just inside the window to where this will be Nigel Mansell's final stop. They've got the front tires off. So far, they're not expecting any changes, but we'll keep an eye up on the front. Yes, Tom Wirtz is going just very slight wing change, only a quarter of a turn. Waiting for the last bit of fuel. Nigel's on the ground. Oh, boy, he has to kill it this time. 14.7.
Yeah, there wasn't any question he wasn't going to get that engine stalled again. Let both of the tires, and out he went.
Oh, he's off the road. He's off the road. He's on the grass.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's a hard stopper.
He put himself behind the 8 ball on that first pit stop when he stalled it. Now he almost does the exact opposite with way too much enthusiasm, i.e. wheel spin, and he was lucky he didn't get collected when he got out onto the racing line.
That's a cold tire issue, though, right? I mean, he had a fairly good turning moment going there and couldn't get it done. Let's take a look.
It was a cold tire. Unfortunately, it was only the fronts that were cold because they're fried now, those rears.
The rears are now fully up to temperature. The fronts are not. And now watch.
Now he turns in.
And
Look
it
at
won't.
He's already out of grip.
He turns, it doesn't.
Boy, he has enough presence of mind to back out of the power to keep that car straight.
What?
And as he flies out into the racing line, look, it's Scott Goodyear comes down the inside and waves his fist at Mansell. Well, there will be words there from Scott Goodyear to Nigel Mansell.
When you come off like that onto the grass, what's the sensation? Like ice?
Like ice, like the water. And then what you have to do is forget about the power. You have to get out of it and use your steering wheel to just keep the car straight. That's the most important thing.
I wish we had a little telemetry on Nigel's heartbeat right now.
Car with the luminous red rear wing, that is Scott Sharp. He was exceptional all weekend here, all the way from the IndyCar test that they had Monday and Tuesday. Believe it or not, Scott Sharp, he was in the top 3 many times here. Just hasn't quite hit it right for the race. But a man with zero experience on oval tracks in an IndyCar, in anything.
We watched him too. Scott moves up, makes a pass on John Paul Jr. and moves into the top 10. Now, as Nigel came out there, came out alone, spun the rear tires, a lot of exuberance, off onto the grass, out into traffic, almost could have been a serious accident. It wasn't. Is this now an official call? Is there maybe a black flag in the offing?
I think there has been discussions of a black flag. I don't think they should give a black flag. In fact, they're not going to give a black flag. That is a racing incident. It's not something he did intentionally, like blocking somebody or anything like that. That is just like over-exuberance, which is part of the reason why Nigel Mansell is Nigel Mansell. That is his style. Give it 110%, even if you're on the racetrack or on the grass.
They decided, they did discuss it in race control, and because he was on beyond the blend line, fell part of the race. If he gets it going, keep going. By the way, his teammate Mario Andretti came in and made a stop as well during all that.
Now, I'm sure if you ask Scott Goodyear, should it be a black flag, he would have given up black flags and red flags and all sorts of flags.
He tried to wave it from the cockpit as he went by. Watching Nigel Mansell now. Let's go to the onboard camera in replay of Nigel going out of the pits. There he engages. Wow, does he? Now watch. He's going to start a turn here, and it isn't going to work.
Now listen to the throttle. See the way he feathers till he has it straight, and then he goes.
There's a good example of when they talk about how gentle you must look at that maneuver. Whoa!
Brian Till gets his doors blown off and his mirrors sucked
Emerson
off.
Fittipaldi turns down onto the pit road. Penske pits are all the way at the far end, and Gary Gerald waits for Fittipaldi's arrival, the leader of the race.
It's a poised veteran team that springs into action. The car comes to a stop. 3 times he's finished third here at Phoenix. He's never won. Will he be able to protect the lead? We watch and we listen. They clean the radiator index. You talked about all the debris. He's off the jacks. He's rolling. 14 seconds.
With the stop, Allinger Jr. picks up the lead of the race. He stopped on lap 79, the same lap that Fittipaldi stopped on. So one would assume that Jr. will be turning down on that pit road pretty quickly. There he is. He's going to stay on another lap. 144 racing laps, 144 racing miles complete, 200 the scheduled distance in the Slick 5200. Now Allinger Jr. due in for a stop. Let's get an update.
We're expecting that Junior will be in on lap 147, although the crew has just gone over the wall. Jan is right there. He'll get a good look at it. He's alongside with the crew, Paul.
Reset the meter. Derek, the reset the meter on the board, that's for the fuel flow?
That's for the fuel flow.
Doesn't matter here, though.
Right. The digital countdown on his dashboard counts the fuel he is using. So, in other words, it would start at 40 gallons and count its way down. But Unser Jr. is now in the pit lane, and Jan Beekes is there.
That's right. Allinger Jr. brings it right in on the marks. Roger Penske himself holding the sign. We can see they're changing the front wings. That was a considerable change on the inside left front wing. Tires are going on now. It looked like they added more downforce. Allinger Jr. probably had a little bit of push. They also said, yes, they had something inside the radiator duct. 14.2. Al Jr. underway.
I'm not so sure that what was in the left front cooler duct didn't get right back in it. There was a piece of debris under the left front wing. You can't really see into that duct, but boy, let's keep an eye on it. Because if you cover up in this desert air, though it's rather cool here today in the 70s, you cover up one of those coolers with some debris and that engine will overheat right now.
In the old days, when people exit the pit lane here, you actually went straight to the apron, which is down on the slowest line. Now one of the improvements that Buddy Job has made here at Phoenix is that inside pit lane, and thankfully it was there because it allowed Mansell to get away with his incident earlier on. And you see Al Jr. ducks down and uses all the road on his exit of the pits.
Robbie Gordon now in front. Brian Till, he just goes past. Now Robbie Gordon made his last stop on the 84th lap, 5 laps deeper than the 2 Penske cars. So one would presume that he can get another lap or two out of this car, and then he's going into the pits. In fact, now they're reporting up that it will be 6 laps before his stop. And we'll be back for Robbie Gordon's stop. Next Sunday on ABC Sports, the Indy cars in the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. Check your local listings as we continue to watch the Indy cars at Phoenix here on ESPN. On board, the leader of the race, Robbie Gordon.
He's out of fuel. Robbie Gordon is out of fuel.
On the backside, they waited until we were done with commercial and took it just a little too long. Robbie Gordon, as the leader, is slowing. Will he make it to the pits? I think so, but he's going to lose positions right and left. If not lose the lap, he'll certainly lose the lap now.
He's not going to make it. He is not going to make it around to his pits. He had a secure podium position for Derek Walker. This is a disaster for Robbie Gordon. I don't know whether he's going to be able to make it in.
I don't think so.
They'll have to go get him.
His pit is well down. His crew can come down and get him once he gets past the first area of the pits.
See that? He says, I need a push. I need a push.
Jan Bikus, you watching this?
Yes, what has happened is they have just dispatched the crew. They're running as fast as they can around the back of the pit. No, now they're back. So they must... Oh, they're just about knocked me over. They're trying to get back over the wall to do service on Robbie Gordon.
He'll be on the radio. He is telling everybody, please push me. His hard-earned third place is slowly creeping away. And Johansson in Tony Bettenhausen's Penske, the Alumax car, now inherits Gordon's third place.
They're trying to get Gordon out of the high-speed running lane. He's trying to get him to push harder. Look, he's furious. Now his crew joins him, and they take over trying to get him down into his area. They'd chosen a pit that was almost down to the far end by the Penskes. And let me tell you, that's not easy. Over 1,500 pounds of race car there, plus the driver. Stefan Johansson, who was running in third, came into the pits, and finally, Gordon's car makes it in. Al Unser Jr. gets second place now as a result of this out. Let's go pit side, Jan.
Well, Robbie Gordon is here now. Of course, once they get the tires changed, they'll have to refire the engine. If you run it out of fuel, it doesn't start that easily. The interesting thing is he was actually not due to come in here until 3 laps. So obviously their calculations here in the Walker pits were way off. I would say it's probably a fuel pickup problem because they're very accurate in keeping track of fuel. At the moment, they're trying to refire Robbie Gordon, but at this moment, he's not up and running.
There he goes.
And that is the key, fuel pickup. You hope that the fuel pump will draw the last dredges of fuel down at the bottom of that fuel tank. It doesn't always happen. There may have been 2 or 3 gallons still left in Robbie Gordon's car that the fuel pump just could not suck out and stick into the injection.
Michael Andretti was into the pits. You also saw Stefan Johansson, who was in. He was in third place until he made the stop. And so here is your leader, Emerson Fittipaldi, with Al Unser Jr. moving into second place. The 2 Penske cars are the only cars on the lead lap. Nigel Mansell is now in third place. And this car was fourth until he came in. Jimmy Vasser, as he came into the pit, Stefan Johansson moved back into fourth. And Mike Groff with Honda Power runs in 5th place right now. He started 20th. Update on Michael Andretti as we watch out the back of Michael's car. Gary Gerald, you have something.
Well, Paul, while that stop was being made finally by Robbie Gordon, Michael Andretti also came in for his final service. Unfortunately, stalled the engine as he started to leave. Took time to get refired. Now back out on the racetrack.
Michael Andretti in the center of the needle on that one. Look as he comes back to challenge Fittipaldi. He didn't like that. Says, let's go racing, Emo.
Well, this is a pointless exercise for Michael because that is not for position. He should just let Emerson, the leader of the race, go by. But Michael never touched the sweet spot of this Reynard chassis here all weekend, having had such a tremendous run in Australia. He was so infuriated after Friday's practice session, he was actually shouting at his engineers. Now, not at them, but because that was just venting his frustration, because Michael was not able to show his talent here because he couldn't touch that elusive sweet spot.